Hi everyone, welcome to another crochet tutorial with me, Laura, and another Halloween special. And in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make the skull granny square that we saw when I showed you how to make my pumpkin one. If you'd like to know how to make the pumpkin granny square, I'll put a link in the description below. Okay, so for this skull granny square we're going to be using the same yarn we used for this one. It's a DK light worsted weight yarn, so it's a yarn weight of 3, and all you're going to need is brown and an outside colour. So I've used orange so it contrasts really well with the other granny square. And with that I'm going to be using a 3.5mm E4 crochet hook, and it's a good idea to also have a pair of scissors and a yarn, a tapestry needle as well. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so we're going to start off with the brown. So whatever colour you want your skull to be, we're going to start off with first. And we are going to chain 10 to begin. So I'll do a little slip knot first. Little slip knot. And then we're going to chain 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Chain 10. Okay, so once you've chained 10, we're going to put our hook into our first chain all the way at the beginning, and going to bring the yarn through that first chain and straight through the loop on your hook to do a slip stitch. So you end up with a 10 chain loop with a rather big hole in the middle, and that's going to be one of the eyes. And we're going to do 18 double crochet inside this loop. So in UK terminology that's a treble. But first of all we're going to do a little chain 1 for leverage. Then we're going to yarn over, put your hook into the middle of that loop, and just wrapping it around the chains, do a double crochet. We want 18 of those, so that's 1, back into the middle, just wrapping it around the chains. 2, and keep doing that till you've got 18. 3, 4, 15, 16, 17, and the last one 18. That should take you back to the beginning. You should space them quite wide. You shouldn't have to move any over. And hopefully you got something like that. So I've put 18 double crochets into that 10 chain loop. And then what we're going to do, we're going to slip stitch into our first double crochet. So find your first double crochet there, and we're going to slip stitch into there, straight for the loop on your hook. So you've got something that looks like this. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do another chain 10 loop. So chain 10 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch in the same stitch here that we slip stitched into that double crochet. So put your hook back into there and do a little slip stitch into there. Okay, so we've got another 10 chain loop there. Then what we're going to do is we are going to do 18 double crochet in this loop. So turning it sort of round like that, we're going to start this side so it positions well. Yarn over, and then put your hook into your 10 chain loop. Do a double crochet. So that's 1. And just wrapping it around the chains. 2, 3, and just keep doing that till you've got 18 double crochet in that 10 chain loop as well. 4, might have to move these ones over. 14, 15, 16, 17, And the last one, squeeze them in, 18. So I've got 18 double crochet in that 10 chain loop as well. Then what we want to do is slip stitch in that same stitch again here. So find that same stitch, that first double crochet, and slip stitch into there to join that. And you should have something that looks like a pair of spooky eyes. Then what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch in the next 2 stitches on this eye here. So you slip stitch to join. I'm going to slip stitch in the next stitch here, then slip stitch in the next stitch here. So it's important that when you do this one here, when you chain 10 and slip stitch, make sure you start your double crochets in this direction so you end up around here. And to do that, you just, when you join, you just turn your project in a clockwise direction and then start crocheting there. So we slip stitched in the next 2 on here. Then we're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. So chain 4, some more yarn. Then we're going to turn our work, so flip your work over. Then we're going to skip 3 stitches. So going to skip 3 stitches, and sometimes it could be easier. We're going to skip all these chains obviously, so we're going to skip 3, 1, 2, 3. Then in that 4th one here, put our hook and do a little slip stitch. Okay, so don't count the stitch where the chains are coming from. You want to find the next one, skip that, skip the one in the middle, skip that stitch there, and then slip stitch into the next one on this side. Okay, so your little 4 chains are joined over here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to turn our work again, and then we're going to work 4 single crochet into this 4 chain loop. So put your hook into there, do 1, 2, 3, and one more, 4 single crochets. So in UK terminology, that is a double crochet. So 4 single crochet in there. Then we're going to slip stitch into the same stitch here where the beginning of the chains were coming from. So go back into there, slip stitch into there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch in the next stitch. So go find the next stitch, slip stitch into there. And we're going to chain 4 and turn. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chain 4, then turn your work again. We're going to skip 1 stitch. If you're finding it hard to see the stitches this side, just flip it back. We're going to skip, so don't count the stitch under your chains again. Skip the next one, that one there, and then find this next stitch here and flip it over. Remember which one it is. So it's going to be this one here. And in there we're going to do a treble crochet. So in UK terminology that's a double treble. So we need to yarn over once, yarn over twice. You might remember this if you've done the pumpkin one. So yarn over twice, put your hook into there, and any stitch that's a double crochet or bigger, you just yarn over, pull through 2 until you get to the end. So yarn over, bring that through, you've got 4 loops, and then you yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 to do a treble. Then we're going to chain 1, skip the next stitch, then in the next stitch we're going to do a treble again, so yarn over twice. So skip 1, then in the next stitch we do a treble. So again, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, chain 4, and skipping the last single crochet of this row of 4 single crochet, find this stitch where there's other stitches coming from in there, put your hook into there and do a slip stitch. So just slip stitch into there. Okay, it starts to create the mouth shape. Then what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch in the next stitch on here, and we're going to turn our work. So turn your work over so you've got the mouth on the left hand side. And what we're going to do is we're going to do 3 single crochet in this gap to begin. So in this 4 chain gap, put your hook and do 3 single crochet. So that's 1, another one, just wrapping it around the chains, 2 and 3 single crochet. But we're also going to do 2 half double crochet in there as well. So in UK terminology, it's a half treble. So yarn over in the same space, do 2 half double crochets. So there's 1. I'll have to move them over. It's 2, and we're going to finish up with 2 single crochet in there as well. So go back in there again and do 2 single crochet. Hopefully that creates a little angle like that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 single crochet in the next gap. So there's 1 chain space in there. We're going to do 2 single crochet, 1 and 2 single crochet in there. Then in the last 4 chain space over here, we're going to start off with 2 single crochet, so 1 and 2. Then we're going to do 2 half double crochet, so yarn over, get back into there again, do 2 half double crochet. Totally lost that one. So that's 1 and another one, 2 half double crochet, and then we're going to finish up with 3 single crochet in there as well. So 3 single crochet, 1, 2 and 3. Hopefully you should be able to just fit that in. We're going to slip stitch a join in the next stitch. So find the next stitch on the main eye, so not this one where everything's coming from. Find the next stitch here, slip stitch into there, and that completes your skull shape. It's a very happy skull, this one, compared to the other one. So you could just have that if you just wanted the skull for bunting or something, but we're going to turn it into a granny square. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop our brown. You can actually cut your brown if you want now. Cut the brown and choose an outside colour, square colour. So I've chosen orange to complement the other granny squares I'm making. So get some orange yarn. And I'm going to put that over my hook, bring that through my chain and pull the brown. And now we're working with the orange. Okay, so now we're working with the orange. We're going to begin by chaining 3, 2 and 3. And then we're going to do 1 treble in the next stitch. Now, the next stitch is going to be the first obvious stitch there. That was the one we slip stitched into. So in there we'll do a treble, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Then in the next stitch we do a double crochet. Next stitch, half double crochet. Then a single crochet in the next stitch. Then a half double crochet in the next stitch. Then a double crochet in the next stitch. Then in the next stitch we're going to do a corner, so we're going to do 1 double crochet, 1 treble, 1 double crochet. So start off with a double crochet in the next stitch. Then do a treble in the same stitch. Then a double crochet in the same stitch. Okay. Then we're going to do 1 double crochet in the next 4 stitches. So a double crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, and a double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, you should have 3 stitches remaining on this eye, 3 obvious stitches on this eye, and just check where your first stitch is on the second eye, so it'd be down there. Okay, there may be stitches hidden down there, but you just want to look for these obvious ones. Okay, and what we're going to do now is we're going to treble crochet 4 stitches together, but we're going to skip the 2 in the middle. So, but first off, yarn over twice and go into the next stitch. Then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then stop. Yarn over twice again, go into the next stitch. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, then stop. So you've got 3 loops. Then what we're going to do is we're going to skip the last obvious stitch on this eye, and we're going to skip the first stitch on this eye. Then find the next stitch up, yarn over twice and go into that next stitch. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, then stop. You've got 4 loops. Then once more, yarn over twice, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You end up with 5 loops, and then yarn over, pull through all 5 loops. Okay, and that treble crochet is 4 stitches together, but we've skipped the 2 obvious stitches in the middle. Okay, so you should have 2 this side and 2 that side. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do 1 double crochet in the next 4 stitches. Just double crochet in there, double crochet in there, double crochet in the next stitch, and a double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, so 1 double crochet in the next 4. Then we're going to do a corner of 1 double crochet, 1 treble, 1 double crochet. So in the next stitch, start off with a double crochet, then a treble, same stitch, and then a double crochet in there as well. So you've got 3 stitches in there. Then we're going to do a double crochet in the next stitch, then a half double crochet in the next stitch, then a single crochet in the next stitch, then a half double crochet in the next stitch, then a double crochet in the next stitch. And that should leave you with 2 stitches left on this eye before we start with the stitches on the mouth. Okay, so we're going to do 1 treble crochet in the next 5. So let's do 1 treble in the last 2 on this eye first. So treble in the next stitch, treble in the next stitch. So that's 2. Then find your first single crochet on this part here. So you should have 2 single crochet, then 2 half double crochet, then 3 single crochet. So our first one is tucked down there. So we're going to yarn over twice, go into that first single crochet, do a treble. Okay, then treble in the next stitch, 4, and a treble in the next stitch, 5. So we've done 1 treble in the next 5 stitches, 2 on the eye, 3 on the mouth. Then in the corner we're going to do 4 treble crochets, so 4 trebles in the next stitch. So 1, and back into the same stitch, 2, 3, and another one, 4. So 4 trebles in the next stitch. Then we're going to do 1 treble crochet in the next 7 stitches. Okay, so a treble in the next stitch, 1, treble in the next stitch, 2, treble in the next stitch, 3, next stitch 4, next stitch 5, next stitch 6, next stitch 7. Then in the next stitch we're going to do 4 trebles in the next stitch. So 1, 2, all in the same stitch, 3, another one, 4. That should leave you with 4 stitches, and we're going to do 1 treble in the last 4. So 1, 2, 3, and the last one, 4. And then we're going to skip our chains, skip those 3 chains, find your first stitch, your first treble that you did, and slip stitch into that stitch to join the round. So you should have 10 stitches this side and 10 stitches that side. As long as it looks like a square, then that's okay. You can block it and sew it into shape. We're going to move on to the last round, and the last round we're going to start off with a little chain 1. Don't count that as a stitch. And then starting in the same stitch you just slip stitched into, we're going to do 1 double crochet in the first 7. So starting in there, do 1 double crochet, so it's 1, next stitch 2, next stitch 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That should take you up to the corner there. Then in the corner stitch we're going to do 4 double crochet, 4 double crochet in there, in that next stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 double crochet all in the same stitch. Then we're going to do 1 double crochet in the next 5. So 1 double crochet in the next 5. So that's 1. Next stitch 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 1 double crochet in the next 5. Then we're going to double crochet 2 stitches together to reduce this bulk down. So going into the next stitch, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, then stop, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull through 2, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3 to double crochet those 2 together. Then we're going to do 1 double crochet in the next 4. So 1, next stitch 2, next stitch 3, and 4, which takes us to the other corner. Then we're going to do 4 double crochet in there, in the corner. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 4 double crochet in the next stitch. Then we're going to do 1 double crochet in the next 6 this time. So 1 double crochet in the next stitch, 1, next stitch 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So 1 double crochet in the next 6. Then we're going to double crochet 2 stitches together again. So into the next stitch, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, but stop, yarn over into the next stitch, pull through 2, then pull through all 3 to double crochet 2 together. Then we're going to do 1 double crochet in the next 5. So next stitch 1, next stitch 2, 3, 3, 4 and 5. Then 4 double crochet in the next stitch for our corner. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So 4 double crochet in there. Then 1 double crochet in the next 10 stitches. 10. So next stitch 1. These are all double crochets. Next stitch 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 1 double crochet in the next 10 across the bottom, then 4 double crochet in the next stitch for our corner. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So 4 double crochet in there. So 1 double crochet in the next 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then we're going to finish up by double crocheting the last stitch together with this first stitch. I know it sounds a bit crazy. What we're going to do is yarn over, go into the last stitch, so 1 stitch left, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2. Then we're just going to put our hook into the first double crochet, straight in there. We're not going to yarn over anything. Bring the yarn through there, yarn over, pull through all 3, and that just joins those together. So you should end up with, not including our corner stitches, should have 2, 4, 6, 8, don't count that chain, 8, 10, 11, 12 in between your corner stitches, 12 stitches. You should have 12 the other side as well. So there's our corner, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12. Just so you've got the same amount of stitches either side. And that's it, we're finished. So it's a little bit more complicated than the pumpkin one, but hopefully you managed to follow along. Just pull that through. And I'm going to hide our tail ends by this last tail end. Always sew through the stitch that you slip stitched into, and that helps keep your stitch count visible. Just neaten that off a bit. There we go. Turn over, sew through a bit. Again. And then just trim off the excess. Sure you can do a neater job than me. So I'm going to hide my other tail ends, and then we'll have a look at joining these together with the other ones. So I can put that one there, and where's my other one gone? There we go. So we can join those together. So I should do that, then I shall come back and I'll show you how I've been joining them. Okay, so I've hidden my tail ends, and what we're going to do now is I'm going to join these ones here. There's a bit of a yarn here. So the first thing you need to do is work out how many stitches you need to join each side, and some granny squares that you make may have more stitches than the other granny square and vice versa. So what I do is work out where your corner stitch is going to be. Now on this pumpkin one, there's a center, there's a group of 5, so that middle one there is going to be my middle stitch there. So I'm going to include that up to this other one, so it's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 stitches across the top and the bottom, 18 stitches, and that needs to join up with, how many have I got here? Let's work it out on this one. Find the center of those 4, it's about there, so it's got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, so 16, and I've already lost count of how many I had on this one. How many was it? Please tell me. 16, so 18, 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 16, 18. So I've got 18 on there and 16 on here, so I've got 2 less on this one, but we can just make that up either end. So you can always do that for squares. So a good idea is to block these, but I never block anything because I'm super lazy. So I'm going to go straight into joining these. So this is how I've been joining it. I've been joining it with a little whip stitch, but only in the back loops. So thread on some sewing yarn, and what I'm going to do is find the corner stitch that you want to work into. So that's there, and just with the back loop only, so not both loops. There's the front, there's the back. Just coming into the back loop, I'm going to bring that over, find the corresponding corner stitch on the bottom of here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, it's going to be that one. I'm going to find the front loop instead, and that joins those. So this one here I'm joining with the back loop and then the front loop of this side. So next stitch going into the back loop only, then just into the front loop of there. So I'm sewing these together just with a little stitch like that. I'm doing that all the way across. So back loop, then front loop, and this is a great way of keeping the shapes of your squares visible on the front. You still get that line either side. So that's how I've been joining them. So back loop and front loop all the way across, and somewhere along here I'm going to have to do 2 I've got more stitches on this one, so what I'm going to do somewhere along here is actually I'm going to go into this one twice, about here. So next stitch on the brown, so I've got more stitches, I'm going into that one front stitch twice, and I'll do that again evenly over there, just to make sure they join up level. Probably should have designed this with the exact same amount of stitches, but super complicated to design that skull, so it's quite hard to even get it into a square shape. I hope you managed to follow along anyway. Back loop and then front loop for the one at the top. Then always gets a bit complicated with this middle one, but back loop, front loop. So you can do a much neater job than me. Oops. Okay, so I need to evenly space. So next stitch on here, I'm going to go back into this one twice, because I know I've got 2 stitches more on the bottom than I have the top, so I need to work that into my sewing. And I should be able to just go to the end now. The corners should meet up. So last stitch, that should be the corner one on there. Brilliant. And there we go. So that's how I've joined that, and that keeps the ridges visible either side. So I'm just going to join the final pumpkin one, and I'll end up with a little placemat thing going on. So I'll do that and I'll come back and show you the finished item. Yeah. And there we go. Finished tying in all my tail ends and finished sewing that along. In the middle I just make sure that I sewed nice a few times into each stitch so you don't end up with a hole. But that's how I join them, and that's how you make my crazy skull and granny square, and I hope you enjoyed that. I'll put the written versions on my website as soon as I can, but I'll see you soon for some more crochet fun. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.